Motorsport UK TV, the home of unmissable British motorsport videos. Bringing you all the action from the British Championships. Taking you behind the scenes. Giving you top tips to succeed in every discipline. Showcasing the best equipment. And much, much more. Visit motorsportuk.tv today and make sure you never miss a moment.
Well, good morning and welcome to a beautiful July Saturday here at Castle Combe Circuit. All right, I'm telling fibs. We've been stitched up royally on the weather here. Not quite what we're expecting for this time of year. It is rather moist, to say the least. You can see already on the cameras as the Subaru Impreza makes its way through the S's and Old Paddock. There's a lot of standing water out there. It is quite incredible. My name is Chris Dawes. I'm going to be enjoying this event from these incredibly talented club racers. Let's be honest, the majority of them. It is the Dick Mayo Sprint for Bristol Motor Club. So as well as myself, Chris Dawes, I'm delighted to say thank goodness we got someone who knows what he's talking about, and that is Andy Lawrence. Hello, eh?
Yeah, bit of a...
No pressure.
No pressure. I've got to now sound like I know what I'm talking about, which I don't think I do, but I'll do my best. I've got lots of information from the competitors, so
good.
It's all good.
That's good. No, it's I'm just delighted to be back here with you, mate, because I missed it last year, didn't I? I think I was off commentating elsewhere and I wasn't able to make it. You were too late.
GTs, wasn't it, I think?
I think so. I got for this one. I think I was at Snetterton, rings a bell, covering GT racing. Yeah, exactly. So, but this I missed it when you messaged going, "Oh, mate, it's a shame you're not here." I was like, "Do you know what? I'm actually missing it. I love this sprint event. I'm tempted to get involved myself as well." We've already had the practice runs, and we are part way through the timed runs. We're sort of getting into the C's now. We've gone through the A4s with one or two just still finished where they're swapping drivers. We've got a few out there still doing their bits and pieces. The practice run, Andy, from memory, I know you said it was fairly damp, but it was predominantly dry for the practice run, so they've probably not learnt a lot from that.
Very little,
yeah.
Other than the car's still running, I think, yeah.
It is. So this first run, and so what we get now, we've got, for those that maybe don't watch the sprints all the time, I know that we've got regulars as well, and welcome guys. But we're now on to timed run 1. I think we go into a bit of a break to get some lunch into us and get out of the rain for the incredibly hard-working marshals and officials that are out there, and thank you for everything that they're doing. And what happens after lunch is we get timed run 2, timed run 3, and it is their best time is the one that counts towards the overall results. And you've got all of your classes, you've got the a number of different championships themselves running here as well, in all honesty. You've got the Bristol Motor Club MX5 Challenge, you've got the 2 Litre Cup, you've got the Bristol Speed Championship, we've got the Porsches, of course, are here as well. Just reminding myself, yeah, the Petro Canada Lubricant Porsche Club Speed Championship with Pirelli. I always have to take a run up with that title. So they're out here as well. So there's multiple championships, but of course it is the Dick Mayo Sprint, and the Dick Mayo Trophy goes to the fastest car of the whole day, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right, yeah. Whoever's quickest in the time runs.
Perfect. So yeah, nothing to do with the practice run that's already gone. It is the timed one. Now, for those that don't necessarily know, Dick Mayo was an active member of Bristol Motor Club for over 40 years and a massive supporter of club racing and racers. And even when he got onto the MSA, as was the Speed Event Committee, he became their chairman. Elected director of MSA itself, Motorsport UK, as you saw the advert at the outset that it's called now. and he didn't forget his roots, and he was still pioneering club racing and club racers, and just an absolute scholar of a gentleman that sadly we lost in, what was it, 2004?
Yeah. Nearly 20 years ago now.
It's unbelievable, that really, isn't it?
But the spirit lives on. His son Simon is probably somewhere around about the start line. He's clarking today.
Okay. Oh, fantastic. So there's still the family link there. That's lovely to know.
Absolutely, yeah. And
Oh,
a lot of
wow.
his friends are still on the committee and in the club. Yep.
Oh, I love that. That is really, really cool. So very special. Dick Mayo, rightly so, has this whole event, and we've got a very special trophy for the Dick Mayo's trophy for the fastest run of the day. It's going to be a constantly evolving one on that one, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the most powerful car in these conditions, because they might not be able to apply all that power onto the tarmac.
Absolutely not. No, I was watching. I was watching at the start line as the rain started to come down in practice, and the single seaters in the on slicks in the damp was
Yeah.
interesting. But shortly afterwards, we had the MX5 Championship, and Ben Crick was saying he pulled away in second gear and got more wheel spin than he's ever had before in his life.
In second?
In second,
Wow.
160 horsepower MX5. So
Goodness me.
yeah,
It goes to show how tricky it is, and of course they're going to have that. For those of you, again, maybe not totally up to speed with this speed event, couldn't resist it, mate, couldn't resist it, is, sorry, what we got? There we go. Please do keep the comments coming in. Chris Mason, our Chief Medical Officer, I don't know, normally he's downstairs in the medical centre, but I didn't see him when I went down, but he said, "Morning, Dorsey." "Hello, mate," from the fire and rescue crew. So he's outside in this at the minute, or in one of the vans. "Could you arrange for some better weather, please?" Andy, that's to you, mate.
I bet the sunshine, but you know, I think it's there. It's just a few feet up from where we need it.
I love that camera you just saw on the feed. There is the panning one that goes through Bobby's, the second and final chicane on this Castle Combe circuit, and it's as they come out at there, the bit we zooming in on, the sort of white boards you could see either side. That's the finish line, isn't it? Where they break the beam and the timing stops.
Well, yeah, you would be able to see the boards, but yeah, the small problem we've got is the rain. There's 3 pixels in the middle there, and that is the finish that the car's crossing there.
Yes, it's really good. Now, Chris Mason's also said, now I'm suspecting that's Dick Mayo, presumably, was also a formidable track manager here at Combe. Was that correct, the case? Is that who's talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And
Okay.
the 4 stars is the auto.
The auto, yeah.
Delete.
Yeah, I had a suspicion that might be the case, but it was a completely innocent one, this one. So, intrinsically linked. And in fact, he was very instrumental in bringing this sprint event to Castle Combe, wasn't he? Convincing Combe for it to be back here. Which,
Absolutely.
let's be honest, Bristol Motor Club at Combe, it's actually the original people coming back, because when I host the racing school here, is that do a big talk about how Bristol Motor Club, that were running events at Lowellsgate, and then identified this perimeter road in 1950, that used to be a military training airfield, and identified this perimeter road as a good place to come and run some race meets, and came here and ran some race meets. So they were the first ones.
Yeah, absolutely. We were, as a club, prolific in the 50s. Yeah, we also ran the first event at another airfield, not too far from here. I think they called it Thruxton.
Yeah. So you guys know where to go looking for racing venues, don't you? That's fair to say. So no, it was brilliant. Obviously, it makes sense, and of course, it's one of 2 that we have here at Castle Combe. We've got the Great Western Sprint in October.
Yeah. Don't ask me the date.
No,
it's
I can't
something
remember.
10th, I think.
I should look, because I'm delighted to say I'm back here for that one as well, which is really a privilege to be part of it. This one is a little bit shorter than the Great Western, so they go screaming out of the pit lane, head up Avon Rise into Quarry Corner, round the long right-hander of Quarry Corner, down the farm straight in towards the S's, the first of the chicanes, and then through Old Paddock, down to Tower, long right-hander there, squirt the power, back on the brakes again for the final chicane, Bobby's, right, left, and then back on the power to go and break the timing beam, and then they slow it back down and come into the pit lane, and that's the end of their run. So that's the slightly shorter one for this Dick Mayo, isn't it? Whereas is it over a lap, isn't it? They do.
Yeah,
the
so
Great Western.
the Great Western's exactly the same, except when they get to the finish line, that's the first split, and then they do a complete lap after that. So they do another lap and finish at Westway again. So it's the same start and finish.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
and they keep going and going. Right. Okay, that's really cool. So this one's the shorter one. It's a nice. It really does make it even more of a sprint in terms of the fastest at the moment. Just so you're aware, the fastest time. I'm assuming that I'm still up to date on all of this. Is the number 88 Martin Prescott Ford Fiesta with a 78.03. The weather really has ditched those times, hasn't it? I mean, Matt Parr, I was looking at earlier, who knows this circuit rather well. He's a racing driver in the local championships. His lap time was amazingly 69 in his Fiesta. He's in the Fiesta this year, isn't he? Not his MX-5. His dad's still racing that MX-5, isn't he? Papa Parr, as I call him.
Yeah, it's his dad's MX-5. He just borrowed it a couple of times.
Exactly, and taught him.
Yeah.
Well, but Matt, when he went out in his Fiesta, was down in the 69.61, and he was, I'm pretty sure he was at the top of the, or towards the top of the MX-5s. Sorry, not the MX-5s. He was towards the top of the times. Well, now he's sat in 5th place with an 84.05 with multiple cars in his class that are ahead of him. So he's not taken to these conditions, and that shows just how tricky they are out there.
It certainly does, yeah. But what you have to remember is that the A3 class, there's quite a lot of cars. I haven't actually looked to see. I haven't looked to see how many there are in class, but some of them are going to be 4-wheel drive cars. It's quite because it fits quite well with an 1800cc turbo. You get a lot of Audi TT turbos and that sort of thing, and A3s. So that could be why it's ended up with faster cars in front.
Right, yes, because their 4-wheel drivers taken better to these conditions, understandably. I would get that. So at the moment, in terms of cars that are out there at the moment, is that we've got a Ginetta G20 B3 car of John Brunner, C3 Reliant Scimitar, fantastic, of Nicholas Kaiser. A Triumph TR7 V8, Rob Warner's out there. That's going to be tricky in these conditions, trying to apply that V8 to these wet weather conditions. I've got a confession to make. When I was a kid, for some bizarre reason, the Triumph TR7 was my favourite car. How weird is that?
Not really, they look cool.
I think they did
and
in
they
their day.
sound amazing.
Yeah, well, the V8 one does, absolutely. It's just there was other options. The Ginetta G20 of John Brunner crossed the line, and that was a 102.96, crossing that puts him 4th in class, crossing the timing beam at 57.9 mile an hour. So it's a steady run there. Whereas Kaiser in the Scimitar came through 95.26, 70 miles an hour. And in fact, we've got another Scimitar out there as well, a TI version compared to the SS1. I'm assuming there's a difference. I can't say I know my Scimitars, but...
Oh, we've got one having a little
twitchy.
wobble.
That was a big old twitch, that, wasn't it? Well held, because it didn't look like he's going to lose his time, because he didn't go onto the grass, did he?
Not on the grass, no, so that'll still go.
Now that...
And it's got our directors in a muddle. They're too busy watching that, getting excited.
Yeah, Tower kept it cleaner there, that's for sure. In towards the final section he goes. And that's going to be the Reliant Scimitar of Joshua Oakes. Come on, we've just looked out the window and saw we've now got Radicals going out with rooster tails off the back of them.
That is a huge rooster tail.
So the car that just had that big twitch was the Scimitar 27 Joshua Oakes, and he still managed to do an 83.83.
And Dave's come to a halt.
So was that the first? Yeah, the first Radical.
So we've got a red flag, Marshall.
Is that Dave carefully. Or is that Angard?
That is Dave. That's
Angarad.
Dave Greenslade. Yeah.
Okay. Just because, oh no, Angarad's down at the line, ready to be released, wasn't he? I got you. I'm making sure I'm getting up to speed on the time at the minute, see.
Yeah. He's out of the car by the looks of things, so it looks like a mechanical. No doubt Simon is in the pit. Yeah, in fact, I can see Simon in the pits there, holding the big black umbrella by the pit wall.
Okay.
Looking towards
Just so
us.
you know, audience, is he just pointed for you there as well? I hope that helped.
Hold on, I'll turn on the webcam.
Yeah. That, we were just talking about Joshua Oakes, that white number 27, the Reliant Scimitar TI, that had that sort of twitchy moment coming out of the S's towards Old Paddock. And I said that he still did an 83.83. That's a C3 car, which there's still a fair few. That's the modified production cars, engines over 1800cc. That's still put him top of the C3 pile. That's really impressive.
Just goes to show how much he's pushing on.
Yeah.
The C3s, the modified category, is sprints are split into several categories. You've got at this event, you've got the A's. They are the series production road cars. So that's the road category. They're things that you could feasibly daily drive. They've got an interior, but they are still, in a lot of circumstances, heavily modified. Then you've got the modified class, which is effectively your touring cars. So these cars will have probably no interior, plastic windows. They're proper out-and-out race cars. They can run on slicks, but not in this weather.
No.
And then we'll move on into Sports Libra, which, as you can see, is radicals, they don't normally break down.
I would agree. It's not normally something you see around. And that literally is, I thought that he'd had an off, but he's still on the circuit and it's just ground to a halt there. And it does look as if they can't even shift it, so it's sort of seized up.
They'll be waiting for the recovery, no doubt. In fact, I would have thought someone would have gone out to give him a tow by now, but I haven't seen anything leave the pit lane.
No.
I mean, the recovery's right here in front of us, but I doubt it's a wheels-off recovery. They were looking underneath the rear clam. So I wonder if that's a chain gone or something. I know they had a chain go earlier in the year, and I wonder if they've got a similar problem again.
The chain, because it's a bike engine.
Yeah, it's a Hayabusa engine in that one.
Wow.
6-speed sequential gearbox. I can't remember what sort of power they're putting out, but it's probably around the 230 mark.
I was relying on you to know. There we go. The flatbed's making its way. Now that backs up what I was thinking I could see. Is it's looking like they can't even shift it in the slightest. And in fact, they're just going to make sure they can do all the recovery. They're going to bring the driver back as well. So if that's who did we say that was? That was Dave Greenslade, wasn't it? The 21 car.
Yeah.
Radical SR1, which is officially the baby one that you're able to. Radical do a fabulous stepping through the racing where you start in the SR1s and the cars can be run for you. Then you can go into the SR3s. You've got in this country, in Europe, in Asia, and America, and all sorts, all these jam ships. And then, of course, you mentioned, for example, covering probably GT Cup last year, and there was what do they call it? The Radical RXC. Which is the one very exactly, looks very much like a Le Mans style car with the closed cockpit and everything, doesn't it?
I think the design parameter for that was to get close to LMP2 performance, wasn't it? But at cheap to run prices.
Yeah. Sadly, I don't know where that's gone at the moment. That hasn't seemed to have made an appearance this year, which is a shame. But it is great. I mean, we were just sort of loving the sight as as Dave Greenslade did take off up Avon Rise. The rooster tail coming off the back was fabulous, wasn't it?
Absolutely, it was brilliant.
Which is one of those things that I think is a shame. Was it Formula One are currently looking into putting sort of almost like rain guards over the rear wheels, aren't they, to sort of make it that it's safer, rightly so, as in they're not suddenly blinding everyone. But for me, those rooster tails are fabulous.
You'll still get the rooster tails though. So the rooster tail we saw there was a mixture of the water coming off the tyres and the diffuser lifting lifting it up off the ground.
You'll just reduce it somewhat.
You just
you won't get the tyre ones. Yeah.
You get those walls, don't you? Those vertical walls on all four wheels. It's we'll lose that.
That's a shame. So that was incidentally just before Dave went out. We had an interloper somewhat. Howard Barnard went out in an A3 class Mazda MX-5. So presumably that was just because he wasn't ready to take his run.
Or is he double driving with someone?
Let's have a look.
71. No, he's not.
No.
Just running a bit behind.
And that's actually not in the MX-5 championship, is it? That's the A3 road going production over 1800 up to 2.6.
Yeah, and that's forced induction, that one, because it's down as, so it's either a turbo or a supercharged.
But that obviously just missed its time, and I guess that there lies the spirit of these events. Is it's like, okay, in theory you've missed it, you don't get it, but it's like, let's get them out there, let's get them running, and all of that sort of stuff, which is good news. So they're just getting this car recovered up. Let's have a quick look through the orders as they stand. After that first run, A1, the road going series production up to 1400cc. This, that really shows you that you can come and do these sprints without it costing the earth, can't you?
Absolutely.
That's really what is appealing to me. The top of that pile at the moment, and I think this is no surprise from what you were saying earlier, it's Julian Rinaldi in the 107 Ford Fiesta with an 86.15 seconds for his timed one. So that, from what you were saying earlier, that's no surprise that he's at the top of the pile.
I'm not remotely surprised.
No.
Although Peter Styles, I can't quite see your screen from there. I'm gonna guess. Is it Peter Styles?
P3.
3.
Yeah.
Who have I
Simon
missed?
Ashley in the number 25 MGZR is second at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have him on my entry list here.
Oh, do you not? Interesting.
Must have been a late entry.
Let's have a look. Simon Ashley. You're right, I don't have that. Oh no, I'm looking at A1. Sorry, Simon. Yeah, he's not on my list either.
Yeah.
We never complain about having additions, do we? So I'm going to write that on my sheet of paper so that we've got Simon Ashley there, because it's clearly an important one in that he's popped himself up into second place with 87.43. And in third place is Peter Styles in his Suzuki Swift GTI. That could be good in this because of that nimbleness of those cars. Same as the fourth place one, Paul Ogborn in the 102 car, which is the Mini Cooper S. Now, I'm assuming, being an Ogborn, that's one of the classic Minis.
It is indeed, yeah. And the Swift actually is remarkably lightweight. So
absolutely.
That's always going to be a benefit.
We used to see those pop up in various hot hatch championships and series around the country, because they are just no weight to them. They're just tiny little things, and a good amount of poke in that GTI. Then I love the fact that in fifth place it's an Austin A35. Fantastic. There's no age limit on this, clearly, is there? Throwing an Austin A35. Fiat Punto Sporting of David Ashurst, then another MGZR Paul Prance, Roy Clark in his MG Midget, another obviously classic car. Luke Ashley actually failed on that run, so obviously put, what is it? Is it just one wheel? Any wheel goes across the line, that cancels that?
Oh, you asked me the most difficult questions.
You should know that one.
I really should know this.
Yeah, it's like, I can't remember whether it's the 2 wheels, 1 wheel, 2 wheels, 4 wheels off, and the timing is gone.
Because it's all changed in circuit racing, but I think... Oh, I'm going to get crucified in the comments in a minute. I'm pretty certain.
I rely on you people to give the comments. You guys know better than me, and that's fine.
I think it's all 4 wheels off still. I think.
Okay, fine. A2, the quickest round, a 92.88 for Donald Gay, in the Toyota MR2, number 96. Mark Tooth and Claire Tooth, second and third. That's father and daughter, isn't it?
It is, yeah. She was stood just over there a minute ago. She's disappeared now.
Well, Mark Tooth in the 793 Lotus Elise. That's a lovely red, from memory, Lotus Elise that went past earlier, on a 94.44, and then Claire Tooth, the same car, but it's number 93, remove the 7 or tape over the 7, and she went round in a 95.08. That's close.
That is really close. I mean, they do trade times. I wouldn't I wouldn't want to put money on who's going to win today.
I love that one. Oh, fantastic. In 4th place, Stephen Hepworth, 97, in a Ford Cortina Mark 1 GT. Wow. But that's not going to be a lightweight car, that one, is it? Jeepers. That's going to be a fairly big old beast, really.
No.
Cortina was quite a big car, was it not?
Yeah, but it was big for its time, wasn't it? And that's tiny today.
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be sub 1,000 kilos, isn't it? I'd have thought.
Well, it depends. If I was in it, it'd be way over that.
You and me both.
Now, the interesting thing that I just noticed there is that, so these cars are 1400 to 1800 cc, so bigger engine than the A1s, but have gone round slower than the A1 class cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the quickest time is a 92.88 seconds, compared to the A1 Rinaldi, 86.15, 87.43, 88.73, so all top 3 are quicker than everybody in the A2.
I wonder if it was the weather.
Got maybe a little bit worse.
The rain was setting in at
maybe.
the end of practice, wasn't it? Because the last cars in practice went out on slicks.
Yeah.
So
maybe. It'd be interesting to see, but then we also do get this tricky one of applying that power to the tarmac. A3s, so this is 1800 to 2.6 litre cars. Topping the time is 88 Martin Prescott at the moment in his Ford Fiesta with a 78.03, so they're definitely quicker here. Then it's Trevor Hartland, number 81, in a Toyota GR Yaris. Wow.
Ideal car for today.
It's one of those ones I really would love to have a go in, because they reckon they're so much fun. Again, a small, nimble car. That was the one that was designed originally to be a rally car, but it never made it to...
Yeah, exactly. It was homologation special, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I actually got as far as specking one up on the
Really?
website, but yeah.
And then you'd have had to have waited a year and a half to be able to get it. I mean, it was a huge waiting list to get them, wasn't it? In the middle of when we were having issues with getting parts and the chip shortage and all of that, admittedly. But, I think the whole idea is they weren't planning to mass produce these things, were they?
Well, no, but they didn't make them a limited edition. So,
no.
But then they're limited by how many they can produce in a year.
True. Yeah. It's such a shame that we'll never actually see that on the rally course. I mean, as a works car, I think we will see it rallying, I would imagine, but in sort of the privateer run ones, but not as a works car, which is what it was originally going to be, wasn't it?
Yeah, I have to be honest, I'm not too hot on the rallying scene.
Me neither. I just remember seeing information on that, so great to see one of those out here. Trevor Hartland did a 78.93. I mean, that's close. 78.03, 78.93. That's the margin between those two, Prescott and Hartland. Then in 3rd place is Sarah Munns in her Ford Fiesta ST, number 89, with a 79.65. Then there's a bit of a gap, because we've got Adrian Smith in the BMW Z4, Matt Parr in the Fiesta ST I was talking about earlier, 5th place. That's not where I'd expect Matt Parr to be. In fact, I think he's leading the championship at the moment, did I see? I was trying to decipher the wonderful ways you do the championship table.
Oh, the Bristol Speed Championship. Yeah, so
I'm
that's
pretty sure that he was leading. Yeah, he's leading the way.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
They've only done Landau so far, though, haven't they?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
late start to the season, because there's only 5 rounds. It's just the events that we as a club run. And that is Landau with our friends at Bristol Pegasus Motor Club. There's this event, there's a double header at Wiscombe, which is the 5 clubs hill climb. Wiscombe Park hill climb near Honiton, if you haven't been, it's amazing.
Do you know, I've never been to a hill climb. How weird's that? I need to get to one.
Really?
Yeah, just for no deliberate reason, just circumstantially, I've never been to one.
Wow.
I really want to give one a go.
Yeah.
I'm not giving it a go, as in going watching one to be able to see. And then it goes back here for the Great Western Sprint, isn't it, at the end of the season? So that makes sense. Fair enough.
Matt Parr, first time out in competition at Landau, and he smashed the class record.
Really?
And that is why he's leading the championship. So the championship scoring mechanism is based on a weather adjusted, which is useful today. A weather adjusted bogey time based on the class record. So if you break the class record, you're going to do really well on points.
Got you. Okay, that makes sense. Fair enough. I love the fact you say Bristol Pegasus that you were with for the Landau. They invited me to do a talk beginning of the year or something.
Yeah.
That was good fun. That was nice. It was really weird. I found it very odd. I'm so used to talking about everybody else and much more enjoy that, but they said, no, we want you to come and talk about you and what you've achieved and all your commentary experiences and people you've met and stories you got. And I'm like, okay. But they were lovely. It was really nice. Okay, so that was, let me flick back to wherever I was. So that was just looking at that. So yeah, Matt Parr down in 5th place. So he's going to have to go for it in runs 2 and 3. Then it's Len Olds in his Triumph TR6. Triumph TR6, wow.
Lovely
Another
looking
classic
car.
thing. Yeah, absolutely. Into A4 then, so the last of the road going classes, it's the wonderful, not surprising this weather, 765 Geraint Meek in his Subaru Impreza. Another car I'm really keen to drive, a Subaru Impreza. Ever since I was coming out of Cheltenham, I was doing some training just at the top of the hill. If anybody knows Cheltenham, more towards the air balloon roundabout, rest its soul, obviously that's now closed sadly with the work they're going to do there. But I was staying in a hotel down in the centre, which of course is the bottom of the hill of Cheltenham. And I was coming up the hill, big steep hill that winds up, and we stopped because there was a car 2 in front of me that was about to turn, Subaru Impreza in front of me, and I had, back then it was a Mondeo Z-Tech, so it wasn't a slouch. Car moved and we're at a standstill, car's turned and we're about to then go, and this Subaru Impreza just, despite really steep uphill, just took off, just went up as though it was downhill rather than uphill. And ever since that day I've gone, one day I need to have a drive of one of those things, they look amazing. And I still haven't yet. But Geraint Meek's really made that four-wheel drive work in these conditions, hasn't he? Up at the top of the times, 80.29. It shows how bad the weather turned because he did a 76.96 in the practice run.
Yeah.
Big difference.
It wasn't exactly dry then.
No, it wasn't. Second place, number 60, Matthew Bennett in his Porsche 911 turbo car. And in 3rd place at the moment, after the timed run, is 65, Alan Davies in the BMW Z4. 5th, I like this, is Dave Broadway in his number 54 Tesla Model 3 Performance. So, electric car.
Yeah. And this time the electric cars are bundled in with the petrol, and I'm not sure there are any diesel cars in that class. So previously we've run them our last 2 sprints here, and we had them separately, and it didn't seem to fit. I think he was 2nd fastest road car behind Matt Bennett last year.
Wow.
So I expect that to go quite well today.
Okay, be interesting. Oh, big twitch from the car's now been released out, and that presumably that's going to be how do you say it? Ankarad Williams in the 720 Radical.
Yep.
So it's had even with all the aero, it goes to show as he comes down farm straight towards S is the first of the chicane. So you can see he's having to tiptoe through the standing water. The first apex there, I'm sure I just saw some of that standing water splash up into the air, past the other commentary box that is Com 2 when we're here for race meets at Old Paddock. He goes and look at the river across the circuit from the infield to the outfield there, down at Tower Corner on the exit. Thankfully, they're going to be towards the outside of that corner if they get it right. Here he comes. Through comes Williams. You can tell how treacherous those conditions, because you definitely expect to see a Radical considerably quicker than that, in fairness. Brakes on in towards the right left of Bobby's, and then accelerates towards, see the 2 white boards either side of the circuit, that's the finish line, and he goes accelerating through to it, crosses the line, and he gets a 98.57. That leads the D1 class, but in fairness, the other one that's run so far in that is the car that stopped, so it was always going to be the case.
Yeah. I don't know what's happened to we obviously saw Dave being recovered. I haven't got any information about what happened to him at the moment, although
your suspicion though is the chain, isn't it? That's what you believe more than anything, so we'll wait and see. Hopefully you can get that sorted and get out for runs 2 and 3.
Yeah. I'm sure he will. He's been in the motor trade a very long time. He knows what he's doing. They have a load of spares with them. I'm sure they'll be able to sort it out. Just had a WhatsApp from Matt Parr though, saying he's tempted to pack it up before he bins it on the standing water.
Wow.
He's not really. He's only kidding.
You're good. But it does even kidding is it shows that we are right sort of looking and seeing that standing water, and that means that it is a challenge that we've got to appreciate that these drivers are so talented doing.
And is that Papa Parr we're looking at there?
Oh
no, sorry, it's Paul Sunshine.
Yep, he's the first of the, of course that's the Bristol Motor Club MX5 Challenge. He's the first of those ones, class F1 to be precise. And so unsurprisingly that car's gone to the top of the times. We also had a Caterham 7 Road Sport car go out there. That wouldn't have been handling brilliantly in this car condition. The Radical that did finish, by the way, that has come in and is changing driver at the moment. So in the D1, so Angarad is handing that car over, becomes number 20 to Terry Brown in that. Doesn't tell me what it is Radical wise, but yeah, they're changing over drivers, so that'll be heading back. And that's, as you point out earlier, where we get some classes intermixing a little bit, don't we?
Yeah, I think that was that a club sport or similar, wasn't it?
Probably right, yeah.
Yeah, club sport or a pro sport, I'm not entirely sure.
What was it? It's D1, let's have a look. Yeah, it just says Radical. So it's
Yeah.
a Radical.
Radical, they're the best kinds of Radical.
As opposed to a tame Radical.
Yeah, or a Radical pro sport, as
Yes.
you see on the screen there.
Which we had racing here, a few of those on the last Saturday. Is it a PR6 that's out there?
It's
it just
not.
says Pro Sport, doesn't
Pro
it?
Sport, that's I think that's the forerunner to the PR6.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They
Just
use
very
similar bodywork.
quick car.
Yeah, we've got a message in here. Good luck, Ben. Now, I wonder if that came in a while back. I wonder if that was to do with the MX5 Challenge we were talking about earlier. We just had Ben Marshall go through.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, thanks, Andy, for that comment. Keep them coming in. Drop us a line, because where are we? We're on both the Bristol Motor Club Facebook page and the Bristol Motor Club YouTube channel.
Yeah, we are on YouTube and Facebook. Yeah, so
Drop the comments, because as you see, we can put them up on screen. So enjoy this lovely weather and incredible driving skill from these drivers taking part in this Dick Mayo Sprint. Get involved, get us out there. Now, I did just see we've also got a Spire GTR out there as well.
on screen, yeah, Tom Arnold.
That's a heck of a car as well.
Yeah,
Just about
he's,
to cross the timing beam now, isn't he?
Is he supercharged now or
What,
not?
him or the car? He's gone straight to the top of the times of D1 at the moment, which has included those Radicals and
Wow.
and all of that. 91.27. So I mean, he was like 8 seconds quicker than Hugh Williams in that Pro Sport car. So he's gone.
That's good
brilliant.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a ZX14 engine, I think, in the Spire. He used to run a ZX12, and I think last time I spoke to him, I think he put a ZX14 in. He did play around with a bit of turbocharging, but looking at the entry list, it's no longer turbocharged, which is probably a good thing to.
Yes. Incidentally, actually, Hugh Williams in that Radical Pro Sport, that was a fail, so he didn't actually post a time. He did that in the practice one as well, so he hasn't put a time in at all just yet.
Ah.
So that Pro Sport needs to make sure runs 2 and 3 go well. So only 2 of them have actually posted times in this at the moment. Although, did I say, I thought Terry Brown had gone out. He's at the front of the crew at the, yes, because he's going to take over that 720 and make it a 20. That one hasn't posted a time yet.
Yeah, I did just see him leave the pit wall there to head to the start line.
Very weird though that we've, let's see, is it on this? Yes, we've got car number 22, which is a Ford Anglia. Is in D1.
Right, so this is the complicated nature of the categories. I mentioned that Sports Libre is intended for sports racers like this, but if your car is unable to comply with road or
It's got to
modify,
go into the
it
Libre.
will drop into the
Because
Libre
Libre,
category.
which stands for free, yeah.
Exactly,
Absolutely.
yeah. So chances are that Anglia has got an engine in it that wasn't originally in.
Fine.
Yeah.
That makes sense. We've got single-seaters heading out there now as well. We've got John Gregson in the number 18 Jedi Mark IV. Those things are just stupidly quick. They've got the outright lap records at places like Cadwell Park, possibly Alton Park as well. They are just, 1,000cc bike engines in nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, was that one of them? I couldn't miss that one. And no, I think that's the OMS.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So that one now is just about to go across. So Robert Bellaby is going to go through. The Jedi's already gone through, actually, and it's considerably quicker, like 20 seconds quicker than that OMS. But in these conditions, you never know what they're going to be able to pull out the bag, to be fair.
And for a time reference, that 82.45 is 10 seconds slower than the class record for the MX-5. Oh, look, we have the Radical off.
That's the number 20, isn't
at
it?
Bobby's, yeah.
That's Terry Brown. He's just got all the way towards the end, and he's just gone straight across the grass there. So that's going to be a fail for him. I don't think we're going to have an issue. Yeah, he's already come. I can see through my window. He's already making his way to the pit lane. So he's managed to drag it off the grass and keep it going. So that's not an issue. Across the line is the next one's going to be Steve Broughton. That's the outright lap record holder here for the Dick Mayo Sprint, but in a different car. This one is an SBD, Steve Broughton designed DJ Firehawk CT004, and he's just gone round in a 78.08. So an incredibly quick time there. Just trying to see whether we can see, where does that put him? That's second quickest overall for Steve Broughton in that Firehawk. It's still, surely this isn't right. The fastest overall is Martin Prescott's Ford Fiesta still. Has he found a shortcut?
I don't know, but if anyone else finds it, the times are going to tumble.
Yeah, 78.03 for Martin Prescott and a 78.08 for Steve Broughton that he's just managed to put in. Carol Torkington.
She's just crossing the line there.
Is
Sorry.
it?
Yeah.
Which one is it?
The red car that just crossed the line.
Just crossed the line.
SPD car.
Yeah, I nearly said Colin Turkington when that's his Carol Torkington in the SBD, another SBD car, Steve Broughton design OMS, and that was a 94.93.
Look at a rooster tail on that. That's Phil Montgomery Smith. I put my money on him for doing quite well today. And you can see the downforce he's created.
Did you see the standing water on the middle apex there, though? It's
Incredible.
a big old dip. Now, interestingly, the other one, let's just see, what did Philip Montgomery, he's just done a 71.54. That's the lead A3 car. Where does that put him overall? That's top of the times.
Yeah, considerably,
You said that
I
it was
would
going to
say.
be. Yes, it is. 71.54 compared to 78.03 for Martin Prescott. So he's leapt clearly to the top of the overall times, as well as leading E3.
And I think we were talking about Ben Crick earlier and him coming off the line in second gear, weren't we? I think
Yes.
that's who Andy was talking about earlier.
Got you, and he's out there now. The 403 car, in fact.
There he is, coming into Tower.
Yeah, I was about to say, must be towards the tail end of this. And still managed the 3.77, not the quickest of pullaways, the 64 foot time. But here he comes towards the finish line. A lovely MX-5. They do look so much fun to go and sprint these things. So Ben Crick, towards the line he goes. Crosses, what does he do? 89.43. That puts him fourth in the F1 class for the MX-5s.
He'll be quite happy with that, I'd have thought.
Vincenzo and Son Bristol MX-5.
Actually, they're no longer sponsored by Vincenzo and
Well,
Sons.
you got another shout out for me again, though.
Yeah, but they were title sponsors for the first 7 years. But
wow.
when COVID came around, they pulled the sponsorship. But I think it's still on the list here somewhere. But if you want a haircut, Gloucester Road in Bristol.
Do I look like I need a haircut? I need hair. I don't need a haircut. that ship has sailed, mate. I'm a solar panel for a love machine these days. So On that note, quickly, where are we go? So Tim Barber in his Porsche 996 GT3 F3 class car. So we're now into the Petro Canada Lubricant Porsche Club Speed Championship with Pirelli cars. Look at it, it's just coming through in front of us here. That's the
that is
triple one.
dreamy.
Tim Barber. Just, I know I'm speaking about something you guys can't see, but we just watched it go right in front of our window here. Just beautiful car that is, and that's gone 80.25, so is leading because it is the first of the F3. But we've got Ian Crystal out in his Porsche Boxster S, is on circuit, as is the Cayman 718 GTS 4-litre car of Howard Cressy. And Wayne Eason in the number 120 Porsche Boxster. Now, which one's this that's about to come to the line? That's Ian Crystal, presumably.
It is, yeah.
So across the line goes Ian. And it's a big mix on these Porsche cars, what we've got. We've got some fairly road-going ones to some fairly race-going ones, really, with those guys. And Ian went in a 97.04, so he's gone second in that. So Tim Barber's leading by a country mile at the moment, but to be fair, it looked quick just crawling past us, didn't it?
Yeah, very, very fast car and a good driver too.
Clearly. Howard Cressy comes across the line in the number 121 Cayman, and that's at 86.23, so that's second, but that's still 6 seconds off of the lead car in F3 at the moment, which is still Tim Barber's red 111 car. Now that looked to me as though it was going to be shared. Yeah, David Hilton's going to be making that 811 in a moment. Yeah, the 810 car that's just come in there of Ian Crystal, that is a very road standard Porsche Boxster S, that one, isn't it? The slightly older version of it.
Yeah, is that a 981, I think?
I don't know, mate. Up into second in that goes Wayne Eason now in a 120 Porsche Boxster. Very close though, 86.00 compared to Cressy's 86.33. So that knocks Cressy down to third in the F3 class, the Petro Canada Lubricants Porsche Club Speed Championship with Pirelli. Just got to make sure we don't get in trouble. I'm surprised that that's still the same sponsorship, because I know in the road going one is the circuit going one is it's different sponsors for them this year.
It may be suffering from the same issue as the Vincenzo and Sons
Yeah.
MS5 challenge.
An Andy Lawrence issue.
Oh,
it's not your
no,
fault, is it? I'm
no,
joking.
no.
I've just thrown you under the
Although
bus, mate.
I am capable of copying and pasting with the best of them.
John Baldock takes this Boxster S across the line in an 84.58, and that was enough to go up into second again now. Simon Carr in the 118 car should be the next one coming across, as he makes his way out of Tower, down towards Bobby's. Through he goes. Stays clear of the apex there, I noticed, for him. He tried to avoid the standing water on the centre, because there's a big dip on that middle apex of Bobby's. 83.26, so he jumps up into second place. Still Tim Barber leading the way, but the margin's getting slightly less each time. Andy Fagan, number 117, should be the next one. The other one you may or may not be aware of is that they've resurfaced the S's. Reprofiled and surfaced. We had no idea that was going to be happening, but it suddenly took us by surprise. The motorbikes wanted it done.
Yeah.
Needed it done.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually did a track day here a couple of weeks ago when they'd just done it.
Oh, really?
Grip.
Oh, really? Oh, that's good to know. Andy Fagan's gone top of the times in the F3. That 117, beautiful livery on that car, is just going to come through in front of our window, so we personally can sit up close. But he went through in a 77.99. That's over 2 seconds quicker than Tim Barber, so he's done a belter of a lap there. In fact, that must be good on the overall. Yeah, he's gone second overall as well as Andy Fagan, so a great job there from him. Martin Leach goes through 84.53, so that puts him in fourth place. Geraint Evans is the next car that's coming down towards the climax of this one. What a lovely classic car, this one. Look at that, how beautiful is that? Porsche 911 Carrera, 3 litre, across the line he goes, 86.63, 71 mile an hour across the line there. compared to 75.3 for Andy Fagan, who's top. So it shows it's got that outright speed. I'm just watching that come down the pit lane. Just a beautiful classic Porsche, that one.
Proper air-cooled one, isn't it?
Yeah. Stephen Jory in number 113 is the next car that's going to come through to take it. And that's the 944, one that was sort of split opinions somewhat. But that crossed the line in a 90.30, so that's 9th quickest. Then we're going to get David Hilton in the 811 car. Remember that was the one that went out at the hands of Tim Barber when it was 111. So what are we going to get with David Hilton at the wheel of this 996 Porsche? So we know it's a quick car. There, I'm seeing on my one that it's going across the line, and it has now crossed the line, and that's an 87.19. It's interesting because I never know who's going to be the quicker of the two drivers when they're sharing, and we got our answer there. Barber was quicker than Hilton, but Hilton slots that into 9th place. And then it'll be Adam Crystal that's taken over the 111 car. Sorry, 110 car. He is Adam Crystal, but he's taken over what was 810 the first time round for Ian Crystal. Did you recover? You panicked then, didn't you? Andy ran out of the room to get the cameras sorted because we suddenly had we lost the closing ones, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a bit of a bit of a design flaw in the hardware that we use. There's a little button. Well, actually, it's the biggest button, and when you press it, everything goes black. It's so bad that you can actually buy covers to stop you accidentally pressing it. Yeah. I should probably get one.
Well, I think that this is about to be the last of the runners in this session before we go for our lunch break. So Adam Crystal's going to bring home. What can he do in terms of his time? Probably would be able to see he did an 88.54 in practice, so I don't think he's going to jump to the top. No, he goes 9th place with a 87.01 at the moment. So let's quickly take you through the class standings before we go into the lunch break. And it is A1 Julian Rinaldi 107 leads the way on 86.15. A2 is being led by 96, Donald Gay in his Toyota MR2 with a 92.88. A3, Martin Prescott in the number 88 Ford Fiesta in a 78.03. A4 is the Subaru Impreza of Geraint Meek, number 756 in an 80.29. B2, Patrick Holmes in his 52 car, the Caterham 7, 90.01, leading comfortably that class by 7.5 seconds. B3, Mark Everett in that TVR Griffith 500. I thought that would struggle because they're so powerful. I thought it wouldn't like these conditions, but that TVR Griffith is leading B3.
Well, the benefit of that car is it's got a big tractable engine. It's not a peaky engine, so it's going to be a lot easier to modulate the power.
Very true, very true. 83.45, so he's leading the way over a Westfield, though. You'd have thought the Westfield would love these conditions, but C2 is being led by the Ford Escort Mark II of Nigel Smith, car number 40, 84.63 over the Vauxhall Nova of Andy Stoddart. C3, Joshua Oakes in the number 27 Reliant Scimitar. We saw it get out of shape, but still topping the Class C3 at the moment with an 83.83. C4, Tim Monk, the Fisher Fury, number 26. Actually, he didn't go out, so I don't think he's here, so that's probably not running at all at the moment. D1 is Tom Arnold, the Spire GTR, number 24, 91.27, with quite a few fails to put a time in that class. D3, the Vauxhall Chevette of Paul Arbery. What a beautiful car, the Chevette. Number 19, 96.13. E1 is John Gregson in the Jedi Mark IV with an 82.45. E2 is Steve Broughton in his SPD DJ Firehawk CT004 with a 78.08. We're nearly there. E3 is Philip Montgomery Smith with his OMS number 11 with a 71.54. F1 is Ben Marshall, number 405, is leading the MX-5 challenge. Chris Parr didn't go out in that session, I noticed. So Papa Parr didn't go. 81.69. F2 is nobody. F3 was the Porsche Club Speed Challenge, and it was 1:16 Andy Fagan with a 77.99. In terms of overall, though, it means Philip Montgomery Smith leads the way with his 71.54. Andy Fagan in that Porsche Boxster 77.99, and third place is the Ford Fiesta of Martin Prescott, the A3 class car, with a 78.03. This weather is a real leveller, I've got to tell you, and it makes it intriguing. They're going to have a little bit of a break now, and they'll, after the lunch break, we'll be back for the 2 more timed runs, and there's a few people that are going to have to be quite busy. They're not where they want to be, so what does that mean for us at this stage, Andy?
Lunch.
Good answer, good answer. What do we leave our audience with while we're at lunch?
Well, we can leave them with the topic that the rest of the MX5 Challenge group think that Ben is clearly a maniac.
Oh, really?
Based on his time. I mean, he is an outstanding new entrant to the championship this year. So he arrived at the beginning of the season and immediately took wins.
Wow.
And he's been on the pace everywhere all year. It's really been quite impressive. So none more so than today. But I mean, that lead is impressive.
No, it really is. So fair shout. So there's so much to play for and so many different championships. So I think we get to leave you in peace for a little while, do we? Or we...
I think we probably should do. They've probably had enough of us.
Yeah,
by now.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, the last time it was you and I worked together, what did someone say? They said it was like listening to 2 blokes sat in a pub. Or they thought we were commentating from the pub. A chance would be a fine thing, eh? But no, we're definitely not. So from Andy Lawrence, the boss of the show, and myself, Chris Dawes, the diva that turns up and talks about it, we'll leave you in peace for the lunch break. Well, I think we're playing some bits and pieces just to keep the feed going, and we'll be back. I don't suppose we actually know a time, do we? So it's keep your eyes peeled.
It's 1 hour.
Is it 1 hour?
Yeah, so I would assume that means about 1:45.
I am right that you're keeping the stream going rather than ending it and restarting it.
Yeah, we'll keep the stream going. I'll probably play you some videos that might be interesting, or they might not. Go and get some lunch.
Fabulous. We'll be back shortly, so have a great time, and we'll update you with the weather when we come back and see how the afternoon's final 2 timed runs for everybody are going to go and the impact it will have on the overall and the class standings.
Motorsport UK TV, the home of unmissable British motorsport video. Bringing you all the action from the British Championships. Taking you behind the scenes. Giving you top tips to succeed in every discipline. Showcasing the best equipment. And much, much more. Visit motorsportuk.tv today and make sure you never miss a moment.
2-0 finishes with a time of
Well, it's not actually a good advert, is it? Look at your brakes, do what you mean. right? Actually, that's quite nice.
820 finishes.
It's not actually a good advert, is it? We do breaks to it, I mean.
2-0 finishes with the time of
It's not actually a good advert, is it? We do breaks to what you mean.
welcome back. I hope you've had a good lunch break, and we're going to get the action back with Dick Mayo, Castle Combe, the 2023 version. As you can see, if you have only just inclement. Is that the good Clement, sir? It's mildly beyond that. We've got standing water there. It is tricky conditions. We've got setups changing. We've got tyres going on and buying sets of wets and all those kind of things. And it's testing the drivers out there. But we've had timed run 1 put in, and we do certainly have timed runs 2 and 3. And rumours abound we may well have a timed run 4 as well. My name is Chris Dawes. I shall be taking you through on the commentary in this sprint together. So please make sure you do drop in comments in if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, and it would be great to sort of have your comments and be able to put them up on the screen and interact with you. And anything you know, any shout outs, anything at all, pop the comments down. Joined, thankfully, because otherwise it would be in the blind. I've got man who does know, and it is Andy Lawrence. Hello, mate. Welcome back. Did you have a good lunch?
I had a brilliant lunch. It was a free lunch as well.
Ah, makes it even better. That's like when you got a free bar. The beer tastes so much nicer.
So I hear.
So I hear rumours abound that we're having a time run 4. Is that definite, or is that see how we go?
It's an aim, so we're running Bristol. In fact, time run 2 has just started, and it would be helpful to have lunch on screen, wouldn't it? Yeah, so the aim is we're going through in just over an hour for each time run. So with any luck, we'll be able to fit in 3. But we'll find out at the end of time run 3 whether we're going to get time run 4 in.
That sounds good. Well, yeah, you're right. We've got cars already. I say out there, but there's not showing for time for those cars. But Julian Rinaldi in the 107 Fiesta, Luke Ashley 75 MGZR, and in a wonderful Austin A35. A rainy wander through the paddock in the lunch break, and Austin A35. That's absolutely beautiful. Now we're starting to get the 64 foot come up for Julian Rinaldi. There we go, and Luke Ashley. And in fact, that's it. We don't have a time for Julian Rinaldi, but I know that the MG it got missed for Julian, but he still sits lead of Class A1 at the moment. And have we seen an improvement? Let's check for Luke Ashley. Well, it was, because he had a fail in the first timed run. Luke Ashley in that red MGZR, but thankfully he's now got a time on the board, and that puts 5th place at the moment. And that 725 is going to be coming in because he has to change that one on. And in fact, that's the 25 over Simon Ashley, and 725, which it also is Luke Ashley. So that car will be changing over as an addition to our entry list.
There's Julian Rinaldi just gone over the line. Still in first. Is that an improvement? It's a couple of seconds he's knocked off there.
Okay, so it obviously just changed the order slightly. So yeah, already making his way into this. We've got great cameras thanks to and his team around the circuit at various parts, and we'll pick up on bits and pieces. Really big kid. Hello everyone. Looks as soggy as it is here at Gurston. I'm assuming that it's wet at Gurston because it definitely is here. Really big kid, and I hope you're having a good time at Gurston. What's that? That's going to be today.
Well, there's quite a lot of hill climbs. I'm not sure what event it is there today, but I'm guessing from the picture that probably Ben Bonfield.
Okay. That's knowing your stuff, Anna.
He's a prolific competitor, and he sometimes compete here as well, but obviously has a clash in championships.
I've got to say is that we're we are seeing improved times this afternoon already. I can see on the time because we've just had Peter Stiles go through in his Suzuki Swift GT, third place in A1, but he's just the best part of the second off. Oh no, sorry, that's the way around. Sorry, I was reading the wrong. So he actually hasn't gone quicker. Ronaldo we know has. Luke Ashley was a fail in the first, so that would have been improvement. We've just had Paul Prance as ZR, and he's moved up to 7th place. And the shot you've got there, the standing water, so that's halfway round Quarry Corner. Now we're looking back towards Quarry Corner as that car comes towards the S's, and again on the A, the newly surfaced and reformatted S's, water everywhere.
Yeah, so that's there in Punto Sport, isn't it? Yeah. He previously had an MX-5. Yeah. You name any conversation, and I can, in 3 words, bring it back to how that person had an MX-5. Nothing to do with MX-5s.
Really? That was what you used to.
Yes, it seems you can do it as well.
Yeah. I remember that now, because there's always this sort of like slightly missing it when you're joining me in the commentary box that you'd rather be there, and which I understand completely. That Punto is just making its way, here we go, in towards the S's, and what you'll see is he gets on the power. We zoom in brilliantly on this pan camera. The 2 white boards either side of the circuit, that's the finish line. Through goes David Ashurst, and that is a 99.32. It's a little bit slower, so it's a mixed bag. It really is a bag here today. We've got some that are chopping multiple seconds off, and others that are just going that little bit slower. It's only Simon Ashley that's going A1, but of course that's changing things around, so we're all in the A2s. Mark Tooth in the Lotus at least jumps up in Class A2 as he crosses the line in the red Elise. I think I was looking at the time. What's on pictures, but suffice to just drop. Look at this. 94.44 in run 1. 89.53 has just gone in time.
That's on time, isn't it?
Big. Now that is exciting because his daughter Claire Tooth and he were incredibly close. Well, Claire now needs to jump into that car and pilot it mighty quick if we're going to see anything. What we got coming towards us now? That looks like a Clio, so that's Paula Goodwin, I would venture.
Yep.
Yep, back on the power coming out of the S's. Paula was 8th in class, or sits 8th in class, that's a 104.87, down from 109 in run 1, so a big improvement there from Paula. I've often found that we get a variation in what they choose to do. Some getting a really good one straight away, but others towards it.
It's massive, actually. It's quite a distinguishing factor between drivers who, out of the box, just put in something near what they can do right in first practice. Yeah. I really know myself, being a person who always wins practice. It doesn't always work. Yeah. But